Now the question is for a modern man whether to believe that there are spirits or not. Because it's a very unknown area. And the unknown area, unless and until it is fully explored and found out, always creates a hallucination that it is something divine. So we have to know even about spirits. Who are they, how they act, and how they work out. Now many will say that we don't believe in spirits, whether you believe it or not, but they are there. Christ was not a liar. He took out spirits and put them in the pig. And he is the man who very clearly said that keep away from the spirits. The spirits are the people. We can be spirits tomorrow if we want to be. When we die, we do not die fully. Only the element of earth which has created us for appearance, or which is the, we can say the Jada Tattva, is the gross form. That portion only dies. The rest of it remains. And it goes into an area which we call as Pretalok, where it starts becoming smaller and smaller, till it comes to the size of a fetus, or you can say a very small fetus. It waits there. But some of the people, when they die, they are dissatisfied souls. In Sanskrit we call them as atruptatma. Means in life they have been hankering after things too much and they couldn't get to their goals and they died. For example, a mother dies during labor pains. Her child is born, she sees the child and dies. She is worried about looking after that child. A father dies suddenly in an accident. His children are left behind and he is worried about his children being looked after. There are some people who are very ambitious in life, very, very ambitious. And they die before fulfilling their ambitions. They also become spirits. There are people who are being tortured and troubled and killed. They also die and they don't want to live in the Pretaloka, but they want to trouble the people who have troubled them. So there are types and types of people who become spirits. We can divide them into two types. One type is the one which is very aggressive, ambitious, egoistical, oppressive person who dies and becomes a spirit. That area is known as the supraconscious area. So many gurus and sadhus who renounce the world and go to the Himalayas and break their necks and do all kinds of frantic things which we call as Dravidi pranayams. When they die without realization, they also are on the supraconscious side. And they remain on the right hand side of the human being. On the left hand side, human being, because human being is a reflection, or we can say is the same microcosm of the macrocosm, which is the Virata. Hence, they are reflected on the right hand side of the Virata. And so we should say that they are available on our right hand side. The other ones, we can say that they belong to the category of the people who are suppressed, who are oppressed, who are tortured, who are troubled, who are debased, who are insulted. Such people, when they die, they want to take the revenge by their sly methods. So they remain on the left hand side of the Virata and thus are reflected in us also in the collective subconscious, which is on the left hand side. Basically, these are the two styles of people who are becoming spirit. But there can be a mixture, there can be every type of a spirit. There could be good spirits also, good people who are trying to only help their families and things like that. These spirits try to manifest. For example, the supraconscious type spirits. There was a doctor in London who died. His name was Dr. Lang. When he died, he had discovered lots of things and he wanted to continue with his practice in London. He was a surgeon. But he could not do it because he suddenly died. So his spirit entered into a soldier who was fighting in Vietnam. And when the spirit entered into him and told him that I am such and such doctor, you must go and meet my son and my brother and tell them that I am within you. The soldier could not believe it, but they said that you come along with me and I'll guide you to that place. And he took him to that hospital where this doctor was working. The hospital was closed, the surgery was closed. So he went and saw the son and he told him about this spirit entering into his body. The son could not believe it. So he said that I will tell you all the secrets of our life which we spent together and which no one knows. And when he started telling him all these things, he was amazed. He said, all right, I'll open the surgery. So they opened a very big huge organization known as late Dr. Lang's International Curative Center in London. Now this organization started working long time back, about I think 11 or 12 years back. Actually, I came to know about it because somebody who was suffering from the treatment of one of these people, she came to me and she told me all about this, and she gave me a pamphlet in which they had written all the story about about Dr. Lang. And what they used to say that you should write to us about your illness, whatever it is. And when you write to us, then we will organize it in such a way that at such a time, at such a point, at such a place, whichever place you suggest, something will happen to you, you will start shaking in the body, and you will get those spirits into you and they will cure. It happened with this lady, the one who came to me first when she told me. Then afterwards I met many of them, even in England I met some of them. So when she came to me, you see what was her trouble was, she said that I had some trouble. I think she had some minor trouble which was cured, but was a very inconvenient thing for her. Sort of it was a nuisance, the trouble was. She was definitely cured with that, but after say 5-6 years or so, she started, you see, shaking her body completely. Her nervousness was so much that she couldn't see me. When she sat before me, she started shaking, her hands started shaking, body started shaking, as if a lunatic would do that before me. So I told her, see, this gentleman has come from lunatic asylum and he's behaving the same way as you are behaving. She says, I know, because I have a pain here, I have a problem here, and I know there's something wrong, I'm not thinking properly, and I cannot remember anything, I am a lost soul, and I know what has happened to me. Now what can we do about it? Of course I then cured her, no doubt, because in Sahaja Yoga you can, through vibrations of love, this divine love which I told you yesterday, you can give a bondage to those spirits. By that bondage, you can make that bondage pass into the Preta Loka and they disappear. But some of these are controlled by some of these ambitious so-called gurus. Now these so-called gurus that you know of, so-called, they call themselves gurus. What do? They go, you see, if they find some evil genius dies somewhere, they know he's an evil genius, then they follow his body, they go to Spashan, they try to collect his part of his body and they keep it with them. Now the spirit till 13 days moves around the body and it starts watching what is the body doing. So when the spirit, you see, sees that his own part of his body, which is to form again his own body later on, is missing through these people and they will be doing something, so it appears before them. And they know how to talk. It's easy to talk. Even ordinary spirit person, if he comes here, I can make them talk, and they talk quite a lot, all the kinds of nonsense. And they also tell about these people, what these people have been doing. So that spirit then, is captured by these people and they start using these supraconscious spirits. These people being crooked and very intelligent people, they start acting into their hands. Now these spirits are given some names, like they can call them Ram, Krishna, some people say Ain, some says Reem, some says Klim, all goddesses names. You see, they can even give the name of Jesus or something like that. So what happens that when you go to these gurus, when you ask them, they say, we'll give you a mantra. Now you think that the mantra giving is a very great thing. You see, so many people will come and tell me, in Marathi also, Maharashtrians are a special one for this, that Mataji mala tani guru mantra dila. After all, a mantra can be given. Say, Kai dila mantra Ram. Why do you need a guru to tell you this? Use your brain. Now, they go on saying Ram, and this fellow has already connected them with the Ram whom they have appointed to get into this fellow. So the Ram enters into the psyche of this person. Mostly it is through this Agya Chakra, which I told you. Yesterday I described the whole Kundalini and its places and everything. So it enters through this into the psyche. When it enters into the psyche on the right hand side, you see on the ego side it enters it. And it starts making the man very egoistical. He'll beat his wife, he'll beat his children, he'll drink and try to show off. Sometimes such a man might get a promotion and he'll become so dynamic, people will say, oh, what has happened to him, and sort of, you see, his attention which was spent in doing other things will be diverted to very ambitious style of work. Now he becomes very ambitious, but he has no dharma in him, no love in him, no compassion in him, but he becomes a very so-called successful man for a short time. But after, I've met many like them in Delhi also, those who have been initiated like that by paying quite a lot of money to these swamis and sadhus. And before me they were just rattling like this. And they said, Mataji, this is such a lot we are rattling before you, but even if we burn a udbatti in the name of God, we rattle. We can't go near a temple. We can't go near a church. If we see anything of God, we start rattling like this, and they all have resigned from their jobs and are settled down as useless. This has happened to them within 5-6 years' time. Young people, very young. In Singapore I met one fellow, no, not Kuala Lumpur. You would not believe he is only 22 years of age and he is like that now. And this is a supraconscious style, they call it transcendental thought. This is the trance they use. So just by giving you one name, you must also think. After all, you cannot call like that your God, the Almighty, by just a name. How can you call him? Is he your servant? That is Rama Gadi, come along. Can you call him like this? You do my job, you look after my father, you look after my mother. Who are you? Are you entitled to call like that? And can you just tell him that you better look after everything that I tell you, otherwise I'll give you up. I have no faith in you. The man in his ego starts thinking these nonsensical things. You have to surrender to God. You have to become one with him. You have to be authorized. Then only you can ask his help. The another supraconscious people are another type of, they work out in this way. That you see, these people are the Hatha yogis, so-called Hatha yogis, because I call them neo-Hatha yogis. They are not real Hatha yogis. The real Hatha yogis never stay with the human, normal, citizens of a city or a village. They stay in the forest with gurus. In the Patanjali Shastra, who is the original writer of Hatha Yoga, he has told there are 6 things the Hatha Yogi has to do. He has to stay in the jungle with a guru who is a realized soul. And he does not have to lead a married life. He has to be a brahmachari, a celibate person. And he has to do 6 things together. In that, meditation is there, prana pratishtha, pratyahar, yama niyam. All these things mean he has to regulate his life. He has to lead a very chaste and holy life. It is not meant for people who are householders. Here now for fashion sake, the Hatha Yoga has come to all the people, and all Hatha Yogis such get heart attack. Yes, they do. I have met a doctor here, you might be knowing him also very well. He was a very well-known doctor and he was preaching Hatha Yoga and he had a heart trouble and he was a heart specialist. When I met him, I told him, "Doctor, be careful about your heart, you are catching on your heart." He said, "How can that be? I have taken my cardiograph." I said, "Doctor, be careful and don't do this at you." Because it is an extreme type of a sadhana which is to be done with a person who can balance you, where no other energy is exhausted, but only thing is it is just done for the sadhana and your guru works it out. It is done by very few people. That now, at this moment, you must understand the dynamics of this moment, the spontaneity of this moment. So now people will say, then that means, Mataji, you don't believe in planning. I do not. I do not believe in human planning at all. Because when human beings plan, you know what is the mess they create. Everywhere in the whole world, wherever there has been planners, what has been. I'll give you a simple example. You plan a wedding, A to Z. Now you will find suddenly when the bridegroom has to come from this place to that place, something will happen and he won't move. He may have to go to the bathroom. Maybe he wants to meet his mother. He will be emotionally tied up. Maybe his mother may come there and she might start crying. If you want to make it a living marriage, then you should not plan in such detail. You must allow the spontaneity, the blessing of God to work out. In London, I'll give you one example. You see, I do not plan out much. And I don't bother so much about this planning out. Today we wanted to come here very early. These people said we must reach there at 6:30. I was just laughing. I knew when I have to reach I will reach, because whatever they may try, we cannot reach us. Reasons for that are there. And I just could not. So why worry? Because I know we are not going to reach us. Of course, today supposing I have to go tomorrow, so I have to just buy the ticket for tomorrow. It's all right. There's no planning. That is to be done today. But A to Z, you start planning everything and suddenly you find this is missing and the whole thing goes off. Let the spontaneity, at least in human relationship, because you are such planners, you cannot do everything else, but human relationship, at least try the spontaneity to work out. Now in the Western countries, people are understanding the value of spontaneity, but they are stupid people, they don't know how to harness it. I cannot even tell you to what stupidity they go. If I tell you, you won't believe. There are small children, otherwise I would have told. It's impossible to believe how stupid they are, that they believe in the spontaneity and the kind of spontaneity they have done. All the developing countries are now developing to be the developed countries. But we must also see in what khud these developed countries are. They are stupid people. They are all right as far as their work is concerned. They are all in time, their things are all clean, spick and span. But if you see, their families are broken up. Stupidity to such a limit, a 90-year-old woman having a love affair with a 19-year-old man. And on the front page, their love letters are first day. Every newspaper, if you read, that is the first great news coming. And all the men reading this great Romeo Juliet going on. Stupid, absolutely stupid. When you talk to them, you find they're such stupid people. You don't know where to look and what to say. You have no idea to what extent they have gone in stupidity. Of course, they have Cadillacs and they have big cars and they have big houses. But sometimes I feel it is donkeys living inside these beautiful houses. In certain matters, they are absolutely stupid. In certain matters, absolutely we are crooked. They are innocent, simpletons, but they are stupid. We are crooked. Now that point I will touch later on. So let us see now that how these two types of spirits enter into our psyche. They can enter through this. They turn this. They turn this portion and put inside. Now what happens with that, with the spirit thing? There are some, like Ravan was there, who could only with speech, he could make people naked. Absolutely. We have got 1 year, exactly the same time. If he goes on giving speech, people start taking out their clothes. Now just think how stupid we are not to think by taking out clothes, are you going to go near God? I mean, what sort of a logic is this? When we take our bath, we are all naked. Are we nearer God by then? All sorts of absurd things are being taught and people are accepted. Thousands of people in your great Bombay, where so many intellectuals are doing such silly, stupid things. Then you will find lakhs and lakhs of people just organized for what? Oh, there is some gentleman has come, he speaks very well on this thing and he is very good at this, he is a very great speaker. What does he speak? He speaks about how Radha and Krishna loved each other. Very good idea. You can have free cabaret, you can have free discourses on all the nonsensical things, debasing God himself. All these things are so interesting to human beings. Are they really seeking the truth? Are they really asking the reality? They will never reach Shankaracharya. Yesterday I told you. They will never go and find out what Markandeya had written. They have no time to find out what Jesus has to say about it. They don't know what Muhammad Sahib has said. Nanak Sahib has said so many things. Kabira has said so many things. They are all fools. These wise have come from somewhere to teach us about all the satanic methods that they want to employ on us. So beware, be careful. This is a ghor Kali Yuga. All these satanic forces are active. Krishna has said that whenever there is need to re-establish the dharma and to kill the dushtas and to save the sadhus, I am born again and again. But I find who is the sadhu and who is the dushta. It is such a mixture. The Satan has entered into all the sadhus and sadhus are absolutely in a conflict. This is what Kali Yuga is. It's a very delicate matter.